Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
Hyundai CEO Jose Munoz spoke with Bloomberg's Stephen Engle in his first television interview since assuming this role at the world's third biggest automaker. They discussed what a second Trump presidency means for all automakers, as well as Hyundai's investments and strategy for growth in the U.S. and China.
What are your contingency plans in the United States, though, because with the change of administration there to a Trump administration, which has signaled that they're going to pull back on those tax credits, they perhaps, also lower some of the fuel efficiency standards as well. How do you play these changes from the Biden administration, which, of course, had those tax credits under the, IRA?
Yeah. Our company took the decision to make a significant investment in the U.S. During the previous Trump administration. We haven't invested in the U.S. because of IRA or because of incentives in general. It's not a good policy to just simply make an investment because of incentives, because they can come and go, right? So as such, we believe that the U.S. market is the most important for us today, and it's going to continue to be the most important in terms of not only the absolute, but also the growth. And therefore, investing and localizing is a good strategy. I think we are in a better place today than we were 4 or 5 years ago, simply because the investment gives us much more flexibility.
How concerned are you, though, that the head of your chief competitor on the EV front, Elon Musk of Tesla, will have an outsized influence in the White House?
I don't see that as a concern, honestly. So if anything, I think having someone who is very close to the U.S. industry and to the EV world, I think it should be positive for the industry, because I think it's in his own interest and probably it's in the interest of the country to trigger investments and growth, and also to ensure that we maintain competitiveness in our country vis-a-vis Chinese and other competitors, right? So I think that is positive.
You're a former senior executive at Nissan. As an outsider now, as a competitor, that potentially that merger could uproot you from that third position as the largest OEM. What kind of threat would a merger between Honda and Nissan be?
Basically, for us, being number 3, being number 4, being number 2 is not an objective per se. Our key objective is to provide to our customers with the best product, the best technology, which is safe, the best customer experience. The industry today is more competitive than it's been in the past. Already a few years back, there were a lot of talks and a lot of commentary about consolidation as one potential solution to maintain profitable operations. And if you look at the number of technologies that we have today and compared to 5 years ago, you have EV, and you have much more hybrid, you have plug-in hybrids, you have EREV, you have hydrogen. Well, it is really difficult for a single OEM to be able to invest everywhere. So I think we need to be smart in where we invest our money, but at the same time, you cannot lose the opportunity to get access to the best available and future technology by just doing the things by yourself. So I think the concept of the ecosystem and the partnerships we've utilized in addition to the internal development of our own capabilities and technologies, I think we believe that this is the winning proposition, despite the fact that we are the third largest OEM.
What's your strategy for the China market? Because the legacy overseas car makers are struggling, whether it's GM or others, they're losing money after seeing China as the cash cow. It's changed dynamic dramatically. You have a partnership with BAIC Motor. I understand you're going to inject some $1.1 billion into the China JV. Is this money well spent in a market that is losing market share? All the players are losing market share, the foreign car makers.
We have also been impacted very severely by the situation in the Chinese market. And at the moment, we are trying to readjust our position in the market so we can make it a business unit which is profitable, which is worthwhile having. But let me tell you that being in China, it's also a very good way to experience and to appreciate how to improve, and also being humble looking at how competitors are operating in the market to do a better job, right? So, and then to me, the fact that we are one of the OEMs who have decided to stay the course and invest and grow with our partner, which is a great partner, Beijing Auto, we have a very great relationship with. I think it shows our commitment to our customers in China and also in other markets.
But can you leverage it as an export base at a time of threatened and realized tariffs?
I think so, provided we get the right scale to be competitive. It could be for certain markets, but we also have to improve in the domestic market by having the right products that the Chinese consumers like, by having the right positioning, the right distribution, and definitely the competitiveness in terms of price that the Chinese consumer is looking at.
How can you compete against a company like BYD, which is vertically integrated? It, I think, makes its own batteries, about 80% of its own batteries. It has the scale. I mean, a lot of these car makers are not profitable, and that's a political issue as well. It's causing political waves abroad. But how do you compete on price and scale in a market that is dominated by the local players?
Well, we are competing de facto. One thing is to compete, it depends on the market position, and one thing is to compete in China itself, where at the moment the local Chinese are doing a better job than basically anybody else. In other markets...
Unfairly, though?
Nobody really knows, but we do our best within the rules always. But I would say in other markets like Europe, well, we have them as a competitor and we do better than them. You go, for example, Brazil, Latin American markets. We just finished the year and we became number 4 when the Chinese have sold more cars in Brazil than ever in the history. So we are de facto competing with them, and that they are not shortcuts, they are not tricks that you can apply. So you need to be very consistent in terms of having the right economies of scale, having a good quality production capabilities at good cost.
Let's talk about the local situation here right now. Obviously, there's some political unrest here in South Korea with President Yoon under fire. He's been impeached. There's a lot of political uncertainty right now in the presidential office. How is that potentially going to impact consumer sentiment? And as well, it's hit the won quite a bit.
First of all, well, I'm not in the politics in any market, and also not in Korea. We're watching carefully, obviously, and then we're focusing on our business where we have not seen any impact so far. We continue to focus on delivering the customer promise, and then hopefully the situation will be clear very soon. But meanwhile, we focus in every single market, doing our very best for our consumers.
That was Hyundai CEO Jose Munoz speaking with Bloomberg's Stephen Engle.